Guys, what is up? Nice to see you here. Is it time to buy the news? Are we so effing back? After a few percent pump, how emotions change in the market. Yesterday, it's so over. Today, we're so back. I want to talk about what's going on in the charts right now. Talk about what's happening with stocks, the risks that we're still facing in the market. Look at some altcoin charts, see where we're actually at. Not where we hope we are, but where we actually are, where we could be going from here. What are some key levels to watch out for? All that fun kind of stuff. For answering your questions, second half of the stream. Let's go. By the way, shout out to everybody joining the stream today. Larry, Sumit, Hell is Gone, Dingo, Adam, Mo, Sue, what's up? Corey, Rich, nice to see everybody here. Joe, nice to see you guys. So let's take a quick look here. Price of Bitcoin currently. Now we are seeing a nice little daily rebound. Okay, we got down to 81,300 today. We're back up to 84,000, coming up to the 20-day EMA and the 200-day EMA. Logical place for a rejection if one's gonna happen. Okay, everybody gets mega bullish going to resistance every damn time. These are the areas we need to take out. These are the reversals we need to make. Now, as we can see, this is the big downtrend line right here, basically lining with the 50-day EMA currently. If we get back over 90K, it is so back on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Very, very good. But we're not there yet. We are not there yet. Is the title graphic pointing towards Studio Ghibli case? No, we just decided to have some fun with the thumbnail today. Definitely not about that. I have no idea what's going on there. Just having fun. Just having fun. Anyway, interestingly, if we can, build some momentum here, then what have we really done here? We've put in a new higher low, which is good. Okay, which is good. Can it really be that 76K was the bottom of this move, which is basically a retest of the previous year's all-time high? Be curious to see. MACD here, you can see a lot of indecisiveness where yesterday we almost had a bearish crossover. Didn't quite confirm. Now we're bouncing up just a little bit there. Very interesting to see. RSI about to retake the control line here. So interesting things happening on the chart, okay? The Gold Prairie shared this. The Bitcoin bottom trinity. You can see there's this pattern that tends to play out a little bit where you see this initial bleed down, a further bleed then there later after a bit of a rally, eventually getting a third bottom, which actually gives us our higher low. Interesting. Could that be what we're looking at right now? Well, if we can get enough macro tailwinds, perhaps. Neste sharing a good one here. Capitulation, accumulation. We are in the accumulation zone. Will lead into expansion. That's interesting. He's got the accumulation zone right out through the entirety of April, which would not shock me, to be honest. Really, it wouldn't surprise me all that much. Everybody's going to expect April to be super mega bullish, but what if we just kind of go through some accumulation times? Well, let's see. Let's see how that plays out. John Doe, yes. Also a bit of reverse head and shoulders coming in there. Inverse head and shoulders coming in there. That could be an interesting one too. Let's see how it plays out. Anyway, fascinating to see here, guys. Fascinating to see if this has some kind of rhyming here, then perhaps we do get our expansion into May and into June. Wouldn't shock me, to be honest. It really wouldn't. Let's see how it plays out. Andrew saying, don't fade the Fink. Larry Fink, founder, CEO of BlackRock, in his annual letter to shareholders, $1 at risk of losing its reserve status to Bitcoin. Interesting. Very, very interesting. The timeline where Larry Fink is like one of the world's biggest Bitcoin shills is a fascinating timeline to live in. Bitcoin's on an uptrend in the daily time frame. Currently, it is. Very true. Very, very true. Like I said, if that could be our higher low, then that's actually pretty good news for us. Let's see how it plays out, though. What's up, Lark? Nashville repping. I should have just kept my job. I know, Linky boy. I actually restaked mine yesterday. Thought, screw it. I guess I'm not selling anytime soon. Let's get back in there. I missed out probably in half the airdrop from this time. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Shit. Continuing. London Club Crypto here sharing. I always love Tom Lee's composure and lack of emotion. He called for this correction in Bitcoin, said about 70K, but 76K is close enough. Maintained his call for $150,000 Bitcoin at the end of the year. Not like sell-side strategists, just in their calls in every market move. He doesn't get caught up on short-term hyperbole. It's an interesting thought. I would not be shocked to see Bitcoin at 150K by the end of the year. What if, you know, I hate to use, I don't want to use the super cycle word. It's too tainted. But what if the cycle lasts a lot longer than people think? Right now, we could still have a lot. There are a lot of left translated people saying 109 was the. I have people in my comment section saying 109 was it forever. That was the peak top, and we're literally never going to go higher than that ever again in the history of Bitcoin, which I completely disagree with. But if 109 was the market cap top for the cycle, pretty lame cycle, to be honest. But I don't think that's the case. I think we still have 4-year Bitcoin cycle potentially to play out. 150K wouldn't be a crazy price target by any means. 180K, also not too crazy. That gets up to about a $3 trillion and some dollar market cap there for Bitcoin. Not that nuts if you really ask me about it. Can we get 250K this year? I don't know. But what if Donald Trump actually pulls all this bullshit off and makes, you know, America great again, quote unquote, and people start getting high paying jobs and the economy is really good. And then things aren't actually as bad. Somebody asking about Bitcoin monthly candle. Let's just have a look at Bitcoin monthly candle. Put it on the monthly here real quick. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. You know, it's a fascinating monthly candle, that one. You can see wild volatility, right? All the way down to 76, as high as 95 in the month. I mean, that's a volatile candle right there. The interesting thing is, will that candle provide us enough fuel for a reversal candle, right? Obviously, there's good demand anytime the price got down under the sort of $70,000 region. We saw strong demand coming back in to pick it up. So let's see. Let's see how that plays out, obviously. Hey, guys, if you're trading these cryptocurrency markets, I know that's a lot of you guys looking for a great exchange. Do that. You might want to check out OG Crypto Exchange, Femex. I've been using them for years. You can trade all the top coins with their Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum. And this is available to everybody, everywhere. So no matter where you are in the world, you can use Femex. No KYC necessary. There's a link down below. You can use that link so you can start longing and shorting all your favorite coins. Exclusively using that link, and you can get up to $30,000 in trading and deposit bonuses. So go check it out, guys. Now, Psychedelic shared this, and it's good, so I want to share it with you guys, okay? So many are going to be confused this week. You now come to condition to see the word tariff and to think, oh my gosh, mega dump, so scary, fuck. Your brain, after so many weeks of horrible price action, can only imagine more downside. Bear euphoria is like what I like to call it. Bear euphoria is starting to set in. The bears are starting to get really, really cocky on the timeline. And now look, to be fair, higher time frame charts are looking pretty bad right now, okay? Weeklies looking particularly bad. Monthlies trending definitively in the wrong damn direction right now. But we have many cases where like monthly MACD, let's just look at that for a second. Stuff like the monthly MACD, which you can see is now heading towards a bearish cross, which would be pretty apocalyptic, right? Look at what happened last time we had a monthly MACD bear cross. It was the end of all things for a very long time. However, we also had this. We also had this initial thing here in April where kind of moved down, and then blammo back up. So that can happen. Okay, just FYI. Now, it's not to say that's guaranteed to happen, but there are scenarios that can play out like that, and you can't define what's going to happen in the future based off the past. We're always in new situations, but still. Anyway, it's conditioned beyond reason to be able to comprehend anything but pain, when in reality, it's extremely likely that all the bad news this week, including tariffs, becomes a buy the news event. The market has already priced in the worst possible scenarios, right? That would be the thought here. The market's already priced in the worst possible scenarios. Just how it works with buy the rumor, sell the news. Now we have sell the news or sell the rumor, buy the news, maybe. Just how investors can't understand why we dump on good news. They will doubly be confused why we pump on bad news, especially after the insane beatdown conditioning. The market bottomed at IMO at $76,000. Now changes chaining back up. We might get caught off guard here. Interesting. Now check this out. The Magnificent Seven, that's your Apple and Microsoft, whatever, has officially entered bear market territory after falling more than 20% from the peak. Tesla's been one of the most beaten down of those. Very interesting. But that gives you a false perception of markets. See, a lot of the S&P 500 is heavily weighted towards these top stocks. And their drawdown has an oversized impact on the S&P 500, okay? And Nasdaq, stuff like that. Ryan Dietrich here sharing a very interesting one. So the S&P 500 is down 5% year to date, but the breadth is horrible. They tell us that 7 sectors are up year to date and 9 are outperforming the S&P 500. If you are diversified and not all in tech or the Magnificent Seven, things aren't as bad as they tell you. See, tech is down 11% year to date. Pretty bad. Consumer discretionary stuff down 11% year to date. But look at all this other stuff that's actually doing okay. Now, that's for stocks, great. Usually, though, we correlate with tech stocks in particular, which is slightly problematic for us because we're in crypto, which is basically a proxy to tech stocks. Goldman Sachs slashes S&P 500 forecast for second time this month to lowest on the street. This guy here, Tom, saying things you usually see at bottoms. Yep. Yeah, interesting. Now, the futures for today showing us 0.3% down in futures trading. Now, yesterday it was showing, before markets actually opened, I think we were down 1% in futures markets. And then we actually finished the day, well, look at this, pretty decently. That's how the S&P 500 finished yesterday. Not bad. Not bad. Now, is this a bullish divergence that I'm seeing here on the RSI? Could it be? Could it be? Well, it looks like it could be. That's that we have a low here, a slightly lower low here after putting in an oversold reading on the RSI with a slightly higher RSI reading now. Curious. Nasdaq 100 showing the same thing, a little more pronounced here. Bit of a stronger sell-off yesterday. Both candles ended in the green yesterday. Again, they're below the 20-day EMAs. They're below the 200-day EMAs. I mean, not looking fantastic, okay? So don't want to get too overly bullish because you have a green candle. But, okay. When water drinking? Soon. We got an exciting one for you today. We got a British water today. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. Hold your horses. The water's coming. Anyway. Solana doing relatively decently today. All right, nice. Like I said, I exited out of my Solana position the other day for like a 1% loss. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I like Solana. I do. Maybe I won't even re-enter this position, though. I feel like my money's probably going to be better put into slightly lower market cap altcoins. Solana goes on to put in a 6-7x. Well, there's probably things that if that happens in that scenario, then are going to put in a 10 to 20x. We'll see. I have time to reallocate here. I don't mind things moving up or down a few percentage points. That's just a trade, right? I kind of was in the Solana because I'm just thinking, gosh darn, this thing's a freaking altcoin ETF, isn't it? Isn't it now? Anyway, like most coins, still trading at the 20-day EMA. It did have, I'd say, relatively stronger price action compared to a lot of coins over the last few days, but still needs to actually have a decent bounce higher. Phantom, look at this, bounced right off that damn trend line, didn't it? Now we got ourselves a decent trend forming up here. This coin rejected today so far off the 20-day EMA, but let's see how it plays out here over the next few days. Again, we're totally beholden to what happens in macro markets. Macro markets take a big fat dump. Expect crypto to go down with it, okay? We're not going to just magically decorrelate, especially at such a time of extreme fear. But if tariffs happen tomorrow and it's not as scary and bad as everybody thought it was going to be, and expect volatility around the announcements and all that kind of stuff, then markets probably have some room to breathe. A little bit anyway. Let's see. SUI rejected here at the 20-day EMA so far today. I think there's probably one of two things. One, if you think that macro is going to cuck us again today, and there's probably an interesting short opportunity here, not a gargantuan one, mind you, but from, let's say, around this sort of 240 level down to, maybe 225 or 220 or something like that. Wouldn't shock me. But if you actually take out the 20-day EMA, manage to close that daily candle here at like 244, 245, maybe there's a long opportunity there up to the 50-day EMA, at least around 270, let's say. By the way, guys, we're always sharing cool updates here in the Inner Circle Discord. There's a link down below if you want to learn out some more about that. We had a great deep dive report on Ondo Finance the other day. Very in-depth report here for you guys to dig your teeth into, strength, weaknesses, all that kind of stuff. Now, fundamentally, fundamentally interesting coin. Obviously, major players, BlackRock, Coinbase, Pantera, and all that kind of stuff behind it. But altcoins are altcoins right now, baby. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you got a partnership with BlackRock or not. You're still trading under the 20-day EMA. Most altcoin charts look basically the same right now. So very few are sort of massively outperforming. This one looks pretty much like everything else. Multiple rejections here at the 20-day EMA. There's some interesting price action around here where it kind of really tried to stay above the 20-day EMA for much longer than some others, but it's basically been rejecting at the 20-day EMA multiple times. And until it gets back with the 20-day EMA, you're fishing, right? You're fishing to hope that the bottom's in and all that kind of stuff. And look, on the sell-off yesterday, potentially a higher low after the March 11th sell-off. So technically interesting from that point, okay? Aptos crosses $1 billion in the stablecoin market cap. Fantastic news for Aptos. Dipped down yesterday into the demand zone. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's count that big move as 4. 5, maybe even this one. 6 different dips, okay, down into that demand zone that have basically marked the bottom here for Aptos. People come in, they buy. People like buying Aptos around $5 to $5.30 apparently, and that's where they gobble it up at. Let's see if that continues to hold. But again, still under the 20-day EMA. You got to see a breakout here beyond that to say momentum's back in the market. Until then, we're just fishing, okay? Now, for long-term spot buys, if you believe the market cycle is not over and that this is all just a growth scare and that the best days of the market ahead of us, that we could see a buy in April, sell in June kind of narrative play out with the global M2 and all that, then there's probably some interesting buying opportunities here for you, okay? But this week could be volatile, especially around headline risk, okay? Keep it in mind. This, I just had to share this with you because what the fuck? Look at this. This guy just turned $18.4 million into $8. Pour one out for a trend. Like, dude, you had $18 million. Cash your chips in, walk away, son. What are you doing? I assume this guy must have hundreds of millions. There are some people in crypto who have so much effing money. You have no idea. It's nuts. Anyway, that's crazy. It's that minus 99.99999% loss. So if you're ever having a bad day, you ever think, man, I really screwed up in crypto. Look at this shit, man. That's holy crap. You think you're having a bad day. Anyway, check us out. Fartcoin. Fartcoin's been pumping today. Shit. Sold my Fartcoin. Sure, I made some profits. I know. I made some money, made like 25% or something. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Made sense when I sold it. I'm just gonna put that out there. Made sense when I sold it. It was losing the 20-day EMA. It was losing this upward trend line. Well, it effing bounced, didn't it? Damn you, Fartcoin. Anyway, up to about 51 cents currently. I'm not going to be chasing this one. Let's see how it goes over the next couple of days. Maybe we get some fear in the markets today, and I get a chance to re-enter here around 40 to 45 cents, for example. I think that would be a pretty interesting place to gobble some more back up to re-enter that position. Let's see how it goes. I honestly thought we'd have more of a sell-off on that, on the losing of those trends right there, but obviously it was not the case. But say la vie, man. Say la vie. That's how it goes sometimes in trading. If I get a nice re-entry on that, fantastic. If not, well, live by the sword, you die by the Fartcoin. Say la vie, man. Hey, let's get our red caps on, guys. It's time. Let's do some question and answers. Let's hang out. Okay, so today we've got Hilden. This is from, where did it say it's from? Somewhere in the UK, Hampshire, in the not New Hampshire, old Hampshire, guys. UK Hampshire. Let's try this out. Here we go. Not bad. Bubbles are a bit aggressive at the start, but then they kind of die off real quick, and it's just like crisp. Nice. Okay. I live in Hampshire. Concrete Donkey. Old Hampshire, let's go, man. You probably just drink all the stuff all the time, comes out of your tap, like, oh, I got some Hilden water. Let's go down to the store and get some bathe in Hilden water, you know? Anyway. Oh, we pee in the reservoirs. Uh-oh. Cheers, Ricardo. Are there seals in Hampshire? Gotta go smuggle one of those bi-cal seals, man, and dump it in Hampshire. How big is your water fridge? Room temperature only, man. Room temperature only. Just get it from the tap. It's free. Fantastic. Lark, thoughts on Gunzilla? Super bullish, by the way. By the way, if you guys ever want to see my portfolio disclosures, obviously, as always, that's down below in the YouTube description, pin comment over next. Current deals, current holdings, OTCs, pre-sale investments, all that kind of BS, plus a risk statement, because as you probably figured out, investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money in an extremely short amount of time. Always do your own research. Never invest more than you can afford to lose, and past returns not equate to future returns. There you go. There's your PSA for today. So I am a pre-sale investor in Gunzilla. When did I invest in this? 2022, I think. I think Gunzilla is absolutely fantastic game. Back when I invested with them and they were like, okay, we got Neil Blomkamp on board. I was like, well, I love District 9. It's a great movie. Elysium was pretty cool too. Not as cool as District 9, but okay, it was pretty cool too. I thought, well, if you got that guy behind you, it's for part of like your creative direction, like this game's gonna cook, isn't it? And the early sort of iterations of their game and stuff looked really hot, so I really like that. And I've always been sort of a supporter of crypto gaming, which my faith in crypto gaming has not been rewarded this cycle. In fact, it's taken a big fat steam and dump on me this cycle. Crypto gaming has been really rough. Now, this came out at about $1 billion valuation. I think a $60 million current market cap. Launched on Binance Launch Pool. I like Gunzilla. I think it's going to do really, really well throughout the cycle. Not to say there's not going to be volatility. Not to say there could be better buying opportunities coming up in the next days and weeks for this coin. You know how it is. New coins come out, everybody's super hyped about it. Everybody apes into it. 2 or 3 weeks later, the new shiny thing's out. But the thing with Gunzilla, they've got really sticky, and they were probably, you know, it's controversial, right? They could have launched their token back in November, December, and probably come out at a $10 billion valuation. Everyone's super pumped, like, oh my gosh, but then to be down only, right? Launching at a relative market low, maybe it actually gives people opportunity to get in and see the price appreciate. Not financial advice, obviously, but the fact that they've got literally millions of players who keep coming back and playing the game, that's cool, man. I like that. Built on Avalanche, by the way, just FYI, it's an Avalanche layer 1. So this is good. I like Gunzilla. I like the game. I think they're going to do incredibly well. The token price, man, at $60 million, I know that's $60 million current circulating market cap, $10 billion, $1 billion fully diluted valuation. But in a bull market scenario, when we go risk on again, whenever that happens, we go risk on, this probably has a real good potential to run pretty well. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully it does really well and we get that nice risk on environment and all that fun kind of stuff. Do you think Trump tariffs have been priced in with the recent downward pressure? I think to some extent, yes, Samuel. I think a lot of that has been priced in. That's why we talk about the potential for, well, could this be a sell the rumor, buy the news event? Because tomorrow, for better or for worse, we're going to have some kind of relative certainty on the whole tariff thing. There'll still be negotiations. There'll still be some outlier cases and stuff like that. But overall, I think it's heading in the right direction. So let's see. Only people that actually drink water drink at room temperature. Nice wiggle shirt, Lark. I don't know what a wiggle is. Just a nice purple shirt. Not sure what a wiggle is. What happened to, I don't know. I saw that coin dumped like 50% in like a couple minutes, but anyway, who knows? Wang Chung to the moon. Saw that Bitcoin dude went to not the moon, but to space on a SpaceX rocket. Boycotting some of the American products, Lark? No. What are you folks doing over here? Over in the UAE, I mean, very different vibe to whatever crazy's happening over there in America right now. The UAE invested $1.4 trillion in America, in Trump's America, let's say in particular. That's $140 billion a year over the next 10 years, building data centers and stuff like that in the USA. I mean, these guys are not getting tariffed, okay? They know how to play the game. Are you pro tariffs or not? I think that, honestly, I think the tariff stuff makes sense. You sort of look at the situation, and look, I don't particularly have a horse in the race. I'm not American. I don't live in America, but it does affect my crypto coins. But overall, I think that the tariff situation will end up probably having a pretty good end result for the USA in terms of tax revenue and making a more level playing field and all that kind of stuff for international trade. But obviously, markets have not been loving it. Lark, yeah, well, that's what I was saying. $60 million current valuation versus $1 billion FDV. It's a big gap, right? I think that no investors get their coins until a year from now. So it's going to be 12 months. So late March next year, the first investors will start getting their coins. So it's going to be a while. The only coins that'll be in circulation beyond the initial 6% that were done for launch pool and stuff like that are going to be from people running nodes. And I've got nodes, so I'll get some coins. That'll be nice. But it'll be really just be node runners between now and March next year. So that's something to keep in mind, right? So if you are going to get it, then, and on a speculative bet, then you would want to make sure that you're being aware of the fact that March next year, unlocks are going to start happening. But that's a long time from now. A lot can happen between now and then, okay? So yeah, 6% circulating supply. I wouldn't say it's questionable. It's just that's how a lot of sort of VC-backed coins end up launching, right? So yes, there'll be a lot of coins that come out over the next few years, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But still, between now and March next year, there's an interesting moment of time for, you know, speculating on the gun token to go up, especially if we get a risk-on environment, because it is one of the, it is literally like the most popular game in crypto that actually gets sticky players. You know, there were all those Telegram games like Hamster Combat and shit like that, where you just like had to like relentlessly tap your phone like crazy. Oh, I'm playing a game. I'm just tapping my phone nonstop. This is so much fun. That's stupid. That's not fun. There's nothing fun about that. That's like, you know, real monkey shit there. Anyway, you got an airdrop for it. The thing with Gunzilla and their off the grid game is that people actually play the game and they come back tomorrow and play the game, not because they're sitting there like monkeys pushing a button on a screen, but because they actually enjoy playing the game. And that is a very interesting moment for crypto gaming, because if I don't know if you, for those of you who weren't around back in 2020, 2021, there was this game Axie Infinity, which took off and did like 20,000% returns or some insane bullshit like that. But it was a crypto game, but it wasn't a very good one. Wasn't one of those like, oh my gosh, this is the game I would play all day, every day if there were no token incentives involved. No, people only played it because there were token incentives involved. You had people like in the Philippines and stuff who were like nonstop playing the game, farming it. And a story a dude about like a house for himself and his mom and stuff, playing Axie Infinity, which are great stories. I love that. That's fantastic. You know, play the game, man. Like not just the game, but like, you know, the financial game, and get in there when the opportunity's there. Get your fucking cheddar, cash it out, buy your mom a house. Okay, great, fantastic. Anyway, so very interesting. I think potential here for off the grid. Okay, so the guns token. Let's see how it plays out, though. Okay, again, do keep all these things in mind. Yes, there's only 6% circulating supply and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, got burned on Carrot. Yeah. So when I'm thinking, somebody mentioned something. Somebody mentioned something about that at some point to me, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Anyway, different story. Let's go ahead and catch up here. Are we pumping after Liberation Day? Dennis, fingers crossed, man. That's the dream, brother. That's the dream. Like I said, there's a good potential here for a sell the news, sell the rumor, buy the news to be playing out. Let's see. Let's see. It depends. I mean, if these are like nuclear Armageddon level tariffs, then, well, you know, maybe it's a problem. But the market's probably already priced in a lot of the worst effects for tariffs. let's see. There could still be some surprises. Be careful trading this week, okay? Don't over leverage, all that kind of stuff. If you do, please remember, of course, to use stop losses, guys. Don't be a fool. Wrap your trade with a stop loss. What can AVAX do this bull run? You know, it's really hard to say. We've done price projections on AVAX before, and you know, prices could run up into the multi hundreds of dollars, $300, $400, $500 wouldn't be insane. But that really depends on us getting the correct risk on environment. We need more risk on attitudes to come. We need more liquidity in the system. And yeah, we're getting a big liquidity pump right now from global M2. We need stronger economics. We need consumers to be more confident. We need housing markets to unthaw a little bit. Here's the deal. When the housing markets unthaw and people can finally start selling their house and buy a new house, all that kind of stuff, and yada, 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 and house values go up. But then people what? Then you get the wealth effect. Then people start taking second mortgages versus their house and buying dog coins. I'm not saying that's a wise thing to do. People are insane who do that, but that's what happens, okay? Lark, you consider re-entry on Link? I have been thinking about it a little bit, Ryan. I might. I don't know. We'll see. Part of me feels like maybe there's some other coins that be a little more interesting. Newer launches that have come out, like was it Walrus? I like Walrus, for example. Nah, thing's been relentless though. Hasn't really given any kind of decent dip. Just put this up here on the screen real quick. So this is that big data protocol from Miston Labs, guys behind SUI, right? So that's an interesting one. It's been relentlessly strong during the dip the last few days, but you know, something like that, or Plume, for example, like these are $500 million, $400 billion coins. Don't know. Maybe there's better opportunity there. But I like Chainlink, man. I do. So I would not be against by any means getting back into it. So we'll see. We'll see. Just because the exit position doesn't mean you can't come back. Lark, thoughts on Ethereum? Well, Ethereum has been just in a terrible situation for a variety of reasons. The charts are absolutely looking terrible, have looked terrible. It's been massively underperforming the entire market. If Ethereum was where Bitcoin was, if those two charts relatively followed each other, then Ethereum would probably be like $3,000 or $4,000 right now or something like that, right? But it didn't even get to new all-time highs. Yeah. Anyway, most institutions have been up in the altcoin. Well, there haven't been any ETF inflows to ETH for a while. And it's not to say you've had institutions dumping ETH per se. I'm sure some have deleveraged from it. But the problem with ETH right now is that, is it really such a great value proposition at the current price? And I know, I see it every day on my timeline where people are like, oh, generational buying opportunity for Ethereum and stuff. Like, yeah, it's the same thing I've been hearing for 2 years, man. It's just, you have to face the reality. It has underperformed massively. Does that mean it's going to continue to underperform in the future? Not necessarily, but it could. Here's an idea, and I'm going to do a whole video at some point breaking this concept down, but what if Ethereum is the Nokia of crypto? Right? It was once the big leader. Everybody thought it was going to be dominant forever. And then one day, iPhone comes along, Solana, and totally de-pegs its throne. And then you get Samsung come along, which could be SUI, and you get Huawei come along, which is like Aptos, and so on and so forth, right? Suddenly, it's not looking so hot anymore, is it? Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot see Ethereum revolutionize itself, but right now, it's Ethereum's. It's not that, what is it? It's Ethereum's market leadership to lose right now. So they've got to put in a lot more work. And you might say, well, but layer 2 has been so successful. Well, yes and no. Layer 2s have been successful, true, but they've also been wildly parasitic. They don't really add value back to the main chain, do they? Do they? They don't. Not much anyway. Not enough to make it matter. Because you can buy $10 worth of ETH and go and probably do 100 transactions on Base. What do you need to have tens of thousands of dollars of Ethereum for? And people who are using Base probably aren't doing it because they want to lock up I just got an extra $500,000 sitting around. It's going to go buy a couple hundred Ethereum. Probably not. People using Base probably going to look at it and go, well, I've got $1,000. I need to go find a meme coin or something that's going to make me money, right? Because it's the cheap sort of chain to use. Anyway, Ethereum is why DeFi exists. Well, it's true. It's true. Just like a lot of things that are on mobile phones today are the reasons that, you know, Nokia started everything off or whatever. But sure. Look, tell me you sold your Ethereum without telling me you sold your Ethereum. Look, you guys know I was criticizing Ethereum relentlessly before I sold my ETH too. Okay? Not just that I've sold it now. But Ethereum is why DeFi exists, but Ethereum is no longer the home of DeFi. Now, it still has huge stablecoin amounts and still huge amounts of total value locked, but that's like old whale money, right? Look at where new money's flowing, and it's not flowing into Ethereum. Now, you might argue it's flowing into Base, which is Ethereum ecosystem adjacent, right? Certainly not Ethereum aligned, because Coinbase has been relentlessly dumping the ETH that they earn. So that, look at it this way. Let's say it's not $1, but just use $1 as an example. Let's say that Base charges you $1 to do a transaction. Well, they pay 10 cents back to Ethereum, and they keep 90 cents for themselves and then sell it instantly and just take the cash, which is smart business. Why wouldn't they do that? But that's how it works. Anyway, the problem with Ethereum is the booger on the wall video that leaked out and meowing at a cyber dog. Well, Vitalik's a character. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? ETH leading on real world assets, institutions will go there. Yes. And no, let's see. You know, it is definitely on real world assets right now. We're also getting real world asset specific chains, Red Belly Network or Plume Network, stuff like this. We have real world assets going on AVAX. We have real world assets going on all kinds of chains. IOTA's got a bunch of real world asset stuff lined up. Real world assets can be all over the place. Again, just because some of the big institutions are coming into ETH initially doesn't mean they're always going to just 100% stay on ETH. Capital's completely mercenary in the space, goes all over the place. And now look, that doesn't mean ETH's totally screwed. It's never going to come back or anything like that. It's probably going to be fine, but competition has never been fiercer, and Ethereum has largely been non-competitive. The leadership's kind of taken this idea of like, it's fine, we don't need to compete. Let's do some yoga, man. All good vibes here. That's the most competitive industry in the world. Can't do that. Not you as your video thumbnail too. This is a new AI illustration styles everywhere. I know. I was just for fun. It's just for fun, guys. Come on, we'll go back to regular thumbnail tomorrow. We'll be fine. But it's a good time. All right. Chris says, I need help. So this is an interesting scam that goes around. I don't know why you're posting this here and think that I wouldn't call out your scam, but okay, this is an interesting scam that has been going around, and if you'll see this in comment sections and stuff like this. So thanks for posting this, random scammer dude. But it's interesting. You see this scam going around quite a bit, where you'll see these in the comment section all the time, like, oh, I need help with my OKX wallet or my Trust wallet or whatever, and they give you out the seed phrase, and you're going to log in on the seed phrase, and it's going to look like there's money there. But then they're going to, you're going to start, the things are going to happen. They're going to try to get your money or try to get you to enter your seed phrase or try to get you to, deposit money or whatever it is. But it's a scam. Okay, guys, you ever see this? It's a scam right here. That's a scam. Okay. Don't believe people are that just completely helplessly, idiotically retarded on the internet, okay? I mean, some people are. People actually do send Michael Saylor Bitcoin with the promise that he's going to send them back too, okay? So the internet's a pretty crazy place. Don't get me wrong, but that's an obvious scam, okay? Anyway, let's continue. Catch up in the chat here. Hey, what's up? Crypto newbie, nice to see you, man. I still have 69 minutes of America, oh, man, using computers back in the 90s. Those were the days, man. I remember my first computer was like an old school, like the big floppy disks and stuff like that. I think it was crazy, man. Actually, I had you had to manually enter everything, like, to run the programs and stuff like that. I had to tap in, like, run this program. Yeah, anyway. Wild times. Shout out to anybody who knows what web TV is, man. That was nuts too. Because actually my first internet experience, my first computer was not online. My first internet experience though was on web TV, which is like you'd plug it into the back of your TV and you had to plug it into your phone line so nobody could watch TV and nobody could use the phone while you were on web TV. It's pretty funny, actually. Lark, how low do you think, the whole Bitcoin dominance question is a very interesting one. I was thinking about this the other day. What if Bitcoin dominance stays just high the entire cycle? Doesn't mean that altcoins can't have massive performance, but it stays a lot higher than people think because the money is flowing primarily into Bitcoin this cycle. The institutions, the US government, Chinese government, the Brazilian government, individual US states, GameStop, Michael Saylor, potentially Facebook or somebody like that, rumored to be looking at Bitcoin as well. They're all buying Bitcoin. They're not buying dog coins. But usually what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Lark, I should have sold my AI. Yeah. You and me both, man. Will they come back? Look, let's be real. Not all your AI coins are going to come back. Okay. Some of the big ones like AI 16Z probably comes back. Although Shaw's a bit of the main dev behind it. A bit of a character, let's say. That being said, let's see how it plays out. AI is going to come back. It's one of the biggest trends in the world right now. Certainly in crypto, we'll see AI agents come back and AI networks come back and all that kind of stuff. Question is which ones. So just accept that not all your coins are going to come back. Lark, I don't agree with your Ethereum take. Fair enough. Fair enough. And look, I still wish the best for Ethereum. I think that Ethereum winning is good for everybody. Just want to put that out there for you. And that's a theory that, Ethereum is the Nokia of crypto. I think it's the kind of narrative that you see propagated as prices are absolutely shit and charts are terrible for ETH. It's been one of the most underperforming coins. And there's no arguing that. It's not just that the market's down. It's that ETH never broke out and had any kind of meaningful move when a lot of other coins did. Solana went to all-time highs. A few other coins did too, or at least had much better performance versus Ethereum. Is Cardano going to be used as rewards for? That sounds like some. That sounds like some fake news, man. I have no idea. I've not heard any such thing. Probably fake news. We're back. Sell your house, car, and kidney. Let's go. Who needs any of that stuff? Place to live, way to get around, ways to even live with your body without. Who needs organs? Totally overrated. You'll be able to get robotic organs in the future anyway. It's fine. Lark's son walking in will signal the end of the live stream today. Yeah, he does do that sometimes. Oh, we're getting pretty up there. Geez, I just have fun talking to you guys. I try to keep these things relatively short. I know everyone's got stuff to do, but yeah, anyway. One or two more here, guys, and we'll finish up, okay? April Fool's Day, Full J. Oh, that's right. It's April Fool's Day. I forgot about that. Saw some other stories earlier. I was like, April Fool's Day, probably. Anyway, these jokes, these prices ain't no fool, man. None of these things today. Damn Fartcoin. Weather's getting better in the Northern Hemisphere. Some moves are going to improve. Sentiment will with it. I hope so. Everybody gets out of their winter depression. Can Eagle make a comeback? I mean, look, they're focusing on AI, 0.6 second finality, et cetera, et cetera. They say their best. I mean, look, I sold my Eagle a while ago. The fundamentals of the chain are strong, but you know what the best fundamentals are? Price going up. That's the best fundamental you can have. Okay, I know that's not really a fundamental, but it's true. Price going up. And look, the thing that eGold Multiverse X has really struggled with is getting really just lots of users on chain and huge surging demand for their token, whether that be to ape into AI agents or into DeFi or really anything else. And it's really struggled with that, which is why I sold it, because I wasn't seeing the kind of adoption that I'd hoped to see because of those underlying fundamentals of, everything they do, the good tech and the good tokenomics and stuff like that. Hasn't got the love that it deserved, but it's hard. It's a highly competitive industry. So, yeah. Tax refund slammed into the crypto markets. Probably gonna be a few people doing that. Wouldn't be surprised at all. When will you release the Lark Water ranking list? Yes. We're gonna do it one of these days. We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna have a tier list of water. Let's go. That's gonna be hilarious. All right, you guys are awesome. We're gonna finish up there for today. Back tomorrow for more good times. Tomorrow's tariff day, guys. Okay. So strap yourselves in, hold on to your butts. It's going to be fun. Of course, not the tariffs are happening at the time that we record these live streams, but still, it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Big week this week. So we're going to make it, guys. We'll be fine. All right. Peace. See you next time.